You know, I just realized something. I completely forgot to buy the new modules for my special cruisers. After all, they have lost the built-in module. Now you have to buy the new module from the market, and they have gained a extra minimum slot. So I guess I'll have to take a look at the ships again and figure out if anything major has been changed with the removal of the special modes. That's one thing that I think will be very interesting to check out. But in any case, today we will be blowing up some ships as usual. I did say this 1,000 times before, but blowing up ships in this game is my favorite activity. I also like to blow up tanks and airplanes, but you know, I have a special place for spaceships. That's something that's been following me since, I don't know, since I was pretty much a kid, 20 and a half years ago. Anyway, let's just go to the first. Let's just go to the first target for today. I have some interesting encounters today, and the first one will be a Cobra. Now that's one of the new ships that have been added in one of the last big updates. Cobra is basically a buffed rattlesnake, a very powerful ship, fantastic shield resistance. It has a bomb launcher and potentially very, very high DPS. After all, it is a rattlesnake hull, and the rattlesnake has some very nasty drone DPS. The Cobra has more DPS, but we have our own drone boats out here, my friend, in a Cobra as well, and I'm in the space potato, the Dominic Navy. This is a ship that I really like to fly. I love this ship, actually, to be honest, and the Dominic Navy slaps. But let's see what happens. I also have a siege mode. I actually thought to use a 5th scrambler for the Cobra just in case, but I ended up having a siege mode just to get that extra DPS. Oh, that looks like a juicy Cobra based on the drones there. That's lovely. And we are doing some pretty good DPS on the shield. Doesn't seem like... yeah, that Cobra doesn't really seem that tanky, to be honest. Even if you don't have a good tank on the Cobra, it still has really high shield resistance stats from the bonus. So I would say the player doesn't have all the expert skills on level 5. And never fly the new ships without expert skills, because it's not going to give the full potential from the ship. Okay, well, that was beautiful. Did seem actually fairly tanky at first, well, at the end I would say, but I actually expected a lot more tank from the Cobra. After all, that ship has the potential to be extremely tanky, but I would say the player didn't have expert skills for the ship.
Active.
That's my guess. Well, let's warp out and let's take a look at the kill here. 11.7 billion. Okay, they had a bomb launcher, rapid missiles. Wait a second, that's actually a very decent build there. 2 adaptive on reactive damage control and dual boosters. But they lacked rigs, and I would assume that they also lacked skill bonuses on the ship. That's why the ship didn't feel as tanky as it should be. That pretty much explains it. That definitely explains why the Cobra went down so quickly. Didn't have rigs. The build was good though. The build is definitely good. A good tank build. Unfortunately, the ship didn't have the right rigs to accompany the build. But if that Cobra had rigs and probably all the necessary expert skills, we would be still fighting it, because let me tell you, that thing can be very tanky. Now we have a Dominic's Black Ops. blobs, or should I say dummy blobs, or the cloaky space potato, in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. And I decided to go with long range, since I did smell a Sino locked. Now this is where I actually thought that the dummy had stabs, and I initially thought, well, let me just go and take a different ship for this. I expected the Sino to open, but they warped to a
Warp
planet.
drive active.
So initially I thought 16 stabs, as you're about to see. So I went to the station, and then later I realized, oh, I didn't even lock on, even though it did lock. Technically should have locked, but it refused to.
Docking request accepted.
To let the points do their work. But after I realized that, obviously I would have been dead if I had timer. I went
Warp
and
drive active.
decided to give it another shot, because why not? This time it was Planet 1. And where is the Dominic? 12.7 thousand kilometers away from me. Good thing is you can actually warp to a box. So that's my warping. I still expect a Sino to open, that's why I didn't land at 0. If I see Sino, I'm noping out. As simple as that. Okay, well, that's decent distance, 21 kilometer, perfect actually. And now let me take distance, let me take range, and let's open fire. Okay, doesn't seem tanky. If it were a Sino bait, that would be a tough Dominics to shoot down. If they were a bait, a proper bait, they would have a tanky build. We are in armor now, okay, still taking good damage, and this is where I actually started to think that this ship does not have a Sino installed inside. But they're not moving, they're just sitting there, so I'm paying close eye on the effects. If I see Sino, that would be the time for me to leave, but they are now in hull. Well, okay, that's interesting. No Sino has been opened, and the ship was just sitting there in space. One of the more odd encounters, I must say. Oh well, let's take a look at the inside of the wreck. Could be something good inside, you never know. Okay, not bad. I'll take the loot. Better than nothing. Now, the question that I've been wondering, does this ship have a Sino installed? Has a clocking device, okay, as expected from a... Oh, it does have a Sino, okay.
Warp drive active.
I'm a little bit confused. Was that a Sino bait, or was that ship just sitting there doing... I don't know. I have no explanations on... I have no explanation on what was this Dominic's doing. Maybe they collected... My friend said that they were collecting planetary materials, but they... Well, they were at the container of the planetary material, but they didn't loot that. I should have checked that, actually. Should have picked the box myself. Oh, well, anyway. Speaking of a space potato, there is a Dominic Navy that just landed in the bubble. Now, I am in a fairly tanky ship. I'm flying the good old Hyperion bomber, or... I actually don't have a nickname for this ship, it's just a Hyperion bomber, it's just a super chunky battleship. Basically a mini dreadnought. Tank-wise, it's literally a miniature version of a dreadnought, since it's able to recover about, not exactly 50% of armor, but it's able to recover like 30% now. It was 50% before the nanocore, but with the nanocore I enhanced the overall armor volume and armor repair, but the armor volume is just so much. The large repairs still repair a lot, but yeah, unfortunately the sheer amount of armor kind of prevents me from repairing 50%. I'm close to it though. It's not too far off 50, but it's still good. However, if it were 50% armor repaired per cycle, it would be pretty wild, but I'll take it for what it is. I'm not going to complain too much, since, you know, it would be funny to complain about such a tanky ship. I kinda wish that the Dominic Navy wasn't sleeping, because I'd really love to see how much damage one of these ships would do on my Hyperion, but you know, does look like a expensive space potato, that's for sure. And the space potato is destroyed. Beautiful explosion. And nice work. Everyone came from the Dominic's Navy, as expected from a juicy target. Okay, let's quickly take a look at what we have destroyed here. 12.08 billion, not bad. A DPS Dominic's. PvE build siege tactical module dropped, and some of the drones dropped. Nice. That was a decent loot drop. Could have been better, but you know, I am not going to complain about the loot. Any loot is good loot. Any loot is good loot. I wish that they had predator webs, but you know, even this will be enough. I'm not going to complain. It is after all a navy ship that we have destroyed, and the navy ships, as we already know, are very good targets. Potentially very scary targets as well, if they are built properly. Okay, we have a incoming Gila, and we are just chilling, waiting for the Gila to pop in. There is the Gila, okay. Now this Hyperion already had encounters with several fleets in the past. It did pass the DPS test. The only thing I am slightly worried about is maybe a super capital, but I don't think that they can apply the damage that well anymore. Depends on the situation, I guess. Well, that's a big hit. Oh, and the Gila is now awake. Adaptives are enabled. Okay. It is a shield tank Gila. Well, they are actually boosting that shield. Not that bad. I would say a large boost. It does seem like a large booster. However, they started to boost a bit too late, and well, boom. There goes the Gila. Okay, let's take a look at what we have. Let's take a look at what we have destroyed here. I'm using the rifled railguns just because they just work really well with the ship in this current scenario. It covers from 0 to 100 kilometers, so I'm covered for all distances. They actually 2 billion, okay, 2 billion ISK, and not a bad build. Actually a solid tanky Gila build. I like the large booster Gila. And the tungsten age nanocore classic. That's a good build, I like it. That's decently built Gila. Always refreshing when you actually see a well-built ship, not something you see that often nowadays, unfortunately. Used to be a lot worse in the past, let me tell you. Used to be a lot worse in the past with the cursed builds. Still see a lot of cursed builds, but it used to be much worse in the past. Okay, we have something in the asteroid belt. Well, time for some good old Logi frigate action. I missed flying these ships.
Warp drive active.
I indeed miss flying these little ships. Okay, let's see. Secret transactions. Well, okay. Let's orbit at 0. I love to fly these little ships. They're not serious ships, obviously. They're just ships that you would fly just to have fun. I'm probably the only Logi frigate pilot out there. And I'm fairly sure that's the case, which is kind of funny actually. Unfortunately, the ship, you know, the modular ship thing that was cancelled means that the ships are not going to be, well, improved, at least not now,
active.
but that's one thing that I was a bit disappointed in. I was looking forward to see different variations of the Logi frigates. I was really looking forward for more variations for these other ships. But, you know, it's fine, I guess. I'll still fly the Logi frigates. I don't expect a lot from the 1.6 million. Okay, maybe the blast to the drop is fine, but okay, not much loot there. You know, out of the 4 or 5 Logi frigates, this is definitely my favorite one. I really like the design of this little thing. I also like the Navitas, but I don't know, I just like how this thing looks.
Warp drive active.
Looks like a boomerang or something similar. I love that. Okay, can I dock with timer? Yes, I
Docking
can.
request
Okay,
accepted.
good to know. After every update, I check this, because you never know when they will ninja patch it and then you no longer can dock with timer. And that's when I will fly the Black Ops ships. Just cloak and wait the timer out. One interesting thing I noticed lately, I have seen a lot of Caracal and Caracal navies flying. I've also seen a lot of new players, which is a very nice thing. A lot of new players have been seen over the last week or so. Which is... oh, actually that's a decently expensive Caracal navy. That's quite expensive little boat. 500 million Caracal navy. This is why you always check out every single ship that flies in your bubble, or every single ship that you find on your scanning run. A probe explorer. Okay, let's try to... okay, never mind. The probe explorer burned back to the gate. Or cloaked. And a Cyclone spawns. Quite interesting. Interesting traffic indeed. Alright, let's not blow up my friends, my corp mates' drone. Let's focus on the Cyclone. Why do friendly drones appear on the overview? I have absolutely no idea. It's very annoying that happens, but it is what it is. Let's unlock the drone before I yeet the drone. There we go. And the Cyclone has been destroyed. All of the drones appear. I love that. All of the drones appear on the wrong overview. Every single drone, but with the exception of actual neutral or hostile standing drones appear. You cannot make that up. This game has some very interesting bugs, that's for sure. Let's see what we have destroyed. Was a Cyclone. Let's take a look at the kill. 279 million. Well, some decent loot drops, not going to complain. Always nice when you get some C-types. I'm starting to collect every single piece of loot I have, and then hopefully when I am not lazy I need to sell that, since obviously I need ISK. A Stabber modified. These ships are a little bit rare. I don't really see them that often lately. Back when they have been released, they have been everywhere. Now, not that much. Which is fine, I guess. I like to spot some rare ships. 62 million? Okay, not bad. Oh, actually, I take that back. That's a cursed Stabber. Let's not look at that build anymore. That's not a good build. Never do hybrid tanks. It's bad. It's been 5 years and we still see hybrid tanks. Another Caracal Navy. That's the second or third one that we have seen so far. And Caracal Navy yeeted. Will this Caracal Navy be 500 million? Nope, only 149, which is actually still good value for a Caracal. Not going to complain. That's a good value Caracal there. That's a good value Caracal. Next we have a succubus. Although this succubus, yeah, will be very... I smell a Voyage nanocore. Usually when you see a succubus you expect a Voyage core nowadays. It was very fun back in the day when I used the Revelation, when they tried to use the Voyage core and then their capacitor gets absolutely torn to shreds by capital neutralizers. I forgot the exact range of my Revelation's capital neutralizers, but that thing was able to completely yeet a Battleship's capacitor, I think up to like 80 kilometers or something. It was really lethal, and I had 3 of them, so no Battleship was safe from that. Oh look, a transport ship. And the transport ship has been destroyed. Although I think this one is a little bit empty. We're about to find that out regardless of my assumption, not because we'll be taking a look at at a kill actually. Let's see. Yep, empty. Okay. Still, a kill mark is a kill mark. I'm not going to say no to that. Incoming Astra. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens to the Astra. There's a 50-50 chance that the Astra escapes. After all, they are very sneaky, cloak killer ships. Well, where is the Astra? They are... Well, it seems like they are not jumping. Okay, fair enough. Or my game completely froze, which does happen actually. I don't know what causes it, but occasionally my game just freezes for no apparent reason. And that's very annoying, but it happens. Adventure 3, actually it tended to drop a bomb on the Venture, but yeah, they cloaked. It's a cloaky Venture 3. Initially you wanted to drop a bomb on it to decloak it, to just see if you can decloak with bombs, but you know, the Venture decloaked itself, and yeah, my idea my idea got interrupted. It's fine though. Another ship got yeeted, and let's take a look at the kill. 182 million Venture 3. That's actually a decently valued Venture. Cloaky Venture 3. Because of the nanocore. The nanocore is actually quite expensive. But always nice when such a ship pops in. And we have a RB, 2 cover tops. Now I'm looking at the RB because let me be real, let me be honest. I see an RB, I see a signer. And I'm just waiting for a signer to open. Oh, never mind. Okay. RB got deleted. I think I have a what was the name of the ship again? Typhoon Black Ops that I actually need to start flying because that little boat is interesting, and this was a naked RB. You don't see that often. You don't see naked RBs that often. That's true. Let's go to the next target. We have a Nemesis. Now on the other side of the gate there was a decently large fleet, 5 or 6 ships, and we have been waiting for them. We were waiting for them. We wanted to see, what happens here. There's actually something quite funny that's been going on lately. I wasn't really talking about it because didn't really have enough time, but a corporation declared war on our corporation, and well, we have been waiting for them. We were waiting for them. They never showed up. And it's been like that for 2-3 weeks now. I actually have no idea when all that started. But yeah, unfortunately nothing came of that so-called war that they declared upon us. Would be a good, a good recreational activity for my Hyperion bomber, that's for sure. Since I love to see this thing tank. Unfortunately, I am not giving the chance to see this thing tanking. Well, that's that often. Hey, Imicus. Okay. Of course, small ships up close are going to be a bit more difficult to hit. Never mind, I take my words back. My ship proved me wrong. Okay, Hyperion bomber, okay. And that's a combat scanner actually. A combat Imicus core tops. Interesting. A shuttle. Now why am I including a shuttle? Did they change something with shuttles recently? Because the value of shuttles actually increased. The shuttles are much more expensive now. I don't know why. I kind of vaguely remember something along the lines of them changing how some ships are being seeded. I honestly forgot. But shuttles are decently valued now on the market. I have a bunch of them, by the way, so I could sell for a decent price. 145 million ISK shuttle. That was much less in the past. Now they're as expensive as tier 6 cruisers. And I just had to check that. Shuttle, yeah, all of the prices went up. I have maybe hundreds of them by now, all collected from destroyed ships. Oh look, a Sunensis. I always like to shoot Sunensis destroyers because they are usually very nice destroyer kill mails. They're still expensive to fly, although good ships. The Sunensis is actually a decent little ship. Unfortunately, it's expensive. But if you use it in high sec, you should be safe. Yeah, 129 million ISK for a destroyer. That's not bad at all. I'll take it. And let's go to the
Undocking.
last target for today. Honestly, we had big ships, we had small ships, we had everything today actually. I mean, I really enjoy all the ships in the game, to be honest.
Warp drive active.
I don't really care about the tier 1, tier 3 ship. I don't care. Tier 1 ship versus tier 1 ship, yeah, it's fun. Small tier versus small tier, yeah, it's fun. After all, blowing up ships is what I really enjoy doing. Oh, I warped in a base. Now this is a scenario that you don't want to be in, because
We're under
those
attack.
tier 4 bases are actually no joke. They can blow up your ship if you're not prepared. Which is what happened to the tsunamis that I scanned down. They have been destroyed by the base. And I'm looking for the wreck. Yeah, there is the wreck. There is the destroyer. Well, okay. In this case, the base ships win. Well, in that case, hope you guys enjoyed this little
Warp
odd
drive active.
PvP run today. If I get lucky to sell something on the market, which I think I will be, I have a lot of interesting items that I think are valuable now. I really need to get all the necessary modules and build my cruisers again, because they are now lacking a medium slot module. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, as always. I'll see you next time.